Hi, Debbie Chu here from Chew on Vegan, and welcome back to my kitchen. If you're new to my channel, I'm a plant-based RN and I follow the Starch Solution. The Starch Solution is a program that was developed by Dr. John McDougall, and if you'd like more information, I will leave a link to his book in the description box below. On my channel, you will find quick and easy whole food plant-based recipes. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell because I do post videos twice a week, every Tuesday and Saturday. You can also follow me on Instagram. If you're new to this way of eating, or if you just feel like you need some more support, I started a Facebook group, and I will leave a link to the Facebook group in the description box below. So today's video is going to be another what I ate in a day, and this is going to be episode 2 of Back to Basics. If you're new here and you haven't heard about the Back to Basics, it's something that I started because I did gain a few pounds in the month of July. So I decided I need to go back to the basics of the Starch Solution, to the roots of the Starch Solution, and really focus in on low calorie density and the 50-50 plate, which I have been doing. So today I'll be showing you my breakfast, lunch, and dinner using those principles. So let's get started. So today I'm going to be making sheet pan hash browns. I love doing this, especially if you're doing a breakfast for a few people, or a brunch, or if you just want some leftovers. And I'm going to show you how quick and easy this is. I have a 20-ounce bag of frozen hash browns. There is just potatoes in here. And I let these sit out for a little bit so they get a little defrosted. If you don't have time to do that, you can just put them in a bowl and put them in the microwave for a couple of minutes, just till they get soft. They lose some of that stiffness from being frozen. So I'm going to put these in a nice big bowl. So you just want to make sure you don't have any big clumps in there. That's fine. And I think these are defrosted enough. They're still frozen, but not crazy frozen. Alrighty, let's add some seasonings to this. So I'm going to start with a teaspoon of salt. And you can always add more after, but I like to start with a teaspoon. Teaspoon of my granulated garlic. Teaspoon of onion powder. Smoked paprika. Then we're just going to mix everything all together. And that's part of the reason you want to defrost these, or have these a little defrosted, so the spices will stick to the potatoes. Now we're going to add our veggies. I've got a red pepper and a green pepper, and I use my little chopper because I wanted these super small. And this is my chopper. I will leave a link to this in the description box. I love this thing. It just makes chopping so much easier. So I'm going to add those all in here. Then I've got 5 cremini mushrooms that I chopped up real small as well. And of course, you can always mix and match your vegetables. If you don't like mushrooms, you can leave them out. If you don't like green peppers, just use red, things like that. Then I've got a chopped onion here, and I just want to show you this cool trick. I saw this on the internet. If you put a wet paper towel next to your onions, your eyes will not burn, because the fumes will go to the closest water source, which is usually your eyes. But if you put a wet paper towel, it goes to the paper towel, and it totally works. So, good little hack there. Okay, we'll add our onions. And then we will give this all a stir. Then I have a lined baking sheet, and I'm going to just put those on the baking sheet. And then you just want to spread them out. Probably should have made my parchment paper a little bigger, but we'll just work with it. So just make them in an even layer here. These will go into a 400-degree preheated oven for about 30 minutes or until they're nice and crispy. Here's our hash browns, just out of the oven. They look delicious. Yeah, so now you've got a whole pan of hash browns. Serve it with some ketchup. Perfect. So for lunch, I'm gonna be making a quick little summer salad. We're gonna do this first because I like it to marinate in the dressing for a little bit. And we're also gonna have some air fryer fries to go with it. So we'll be having a salad and fries. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is chop up my cucumbers. And just to show you the ingredients, so I've got cucumber, I've got cherry tomatoes, I've got some mushroom, and then I have some fresh corn. You could totally use frozen, but I had fresh, so I'm using fresh. And then I've got some red onion, and I've got my wet paper towel close by because this trick really works. And then I'm also going to be using my 3-2-1 dressing. So let's get this chopped up. And I know you know how to chop up a cucumber. I just want to show you the size I do. So that will be the size of my cucumber. So I'm just going to continue and finish up cutting all my cucumber up. So we have the cucumbers all chopped up. Then we have about a cup of our cherry tomatoes. I like to use different colors. It makes it look pretty. Throw in our red onion. It's about a cup. I did 3 mushrooms. And again, if you want to leave any of these out, like if you don't like mushrooms, you can leave them out. You can kind of mix and match however you like it. And then I've got my corn. And I just cut it off the cob and then just separated it. I want a few little chunks, but mostly separated. And then we'll just add our 3-2-1 dressing, which is 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. I'm using peach vinegar here, 2 tablespoons of mustard, and a tablespoon of maple syrup. Give it a good shake, and then you just pour on as much as you'd like. You know, 2-3 tablespoons, and give it a good stir. You don't want to put too much dressing on that it gets all soggy, but you want enough so all the vegetables are coated. The salad is so great to take to a barbecue or a picnic because there's no, vegan mayonnaise, not that we would use that anyway, so you wouldn't really have to refrigerate it. So this will go in the fridge while the fries are cooking. I don't put any salt on it because it'll just draw all the moisture and it'll get all watery. Once I plate it up, then I'll put, if it needs salt and pepper, I'll put it on there. The salt will just draw all the moisture out and I think they'll just get mushy. So I'm gonna throw this in the fridge and then we'll get started on those fries. So I've made these fries many times for you, but I will show you. So I've got one russet, and this russet is about on its last leg. But what a perfect way to use your potato is to make some fries. Now I put these in an air fryer at 400 degrees for 15 minutes, but you could absolutely do it in the oven. Anything you can do in the air fryer, you can do in your oven. You usually just have to double the time, and it usually works out pretty well. So I will show you on this one here, and then I just cut them into fry shapes. And then I throw them in this bowl, and then we'll season them up. So I'm gonna finish cutting up this potato, and then we'll give it a good seasoning. Then I will season it up with the usual suspects: granulated garlic, onion powder, smoked paprika. And if you don't like these little brown parts, feel free to cut it off, but they don't bother me at all, so I leave them on. And no set measurements. Sprinkle at will. What I love about this combo of spices, I don't even need to put salt on here. Give them a good toss. Make sure everything is coated. I'm gonna pop these in the air fryer, and I'll be back in 15, although it'll seem like 2 seconds for you. So now we have our beautiful crispy fries. So we've got our little salad here, marinated for about 15 minutes. This salad is so refreshing, and the contrast between the crispy fries that are warm and then the cold salad, it's such a good contrast. I love it. I'll add a little ketchup on the side here, and then I'm ready to eat lunch. So for dinner, I'm gonna be having a pizza. This is kind of a cross between a flatbread and a pizza crust, and it's totally gluten-free and it's really good. So we're gonna start with a cup of chickpea flour. Then we're just gonna add a half a cup of masa, which is just white cornmeal, and about 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Just want to give it a quick whisk. Then we're going to add in 1 1/4 cups of warm water. Get that whisked together. It's nice and smooth. And then instead of oil, I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of applesauce. This will take the place of the oil, and you're not going to really taste it. So we'll just get that nice and incorporated. Then I have a 9x12 baking sheet, which I've got some parchment paper down. So we're just going to pour this on the parchment paper. Guess that's a better angle for you. Then we'll just spread it out evenly on this pan. Now we're going to pop this into a 400-degree preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes until it's lightly brown and cooked all the way through. While the pizza crust is baking, let's work on our toppings. I'm going to saute some mushrooms. Just going to add a little splash of water to get them going. But we're going to let these cook for about 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Then we will season them up. Okay, once they've cooked down a little bit, we're going to hit it with a couple pinches of salt and about a half a teaspoon of ground fennel, and then another little bit of water. And we'll just let these cook for another minute or two. That ground fennel is just going to give it a really unique taste, kind of like a little sausagey, meaty kind of a taste. If you live with a carnivore like I do, then this is a must. This way they don't really miss the meat or the cheese. So pizza crust cooked for about 15 minutes. It's lightly brown there, cooked all the way through. I've got some pizza sauce here. This is just Trader Joe's. It's got no oil in it. I've got about a cup here. I don't know if I'll use it all. Just depending on how saucy you like your pizzas. I like mine pretty saucy. Okay, I think that looks good. Then we're just going to add some veggies. I've got some bell peppers, green, a few of those on here. I just want color on here. I've got some orange and yellow peppers. I've got our sauteed mushrooms. This was about 4 mushrooms. And I've got some black olives. You could use Kalamata olives, whatever kind you want. I'm just going to put a few on here. I just like that brininess. And then I've got some red onion. And again, use whatever toppings you like. So this will go back into the oven for about another 15 minutes. And then I'm going to show you how I top it. So just came out of the oven. You can see the steam. Looks pretty good. Now this is how I like to finish it off. I heat up some of my plant-based cheese sauce. And I'm just gonna put some on the pizza. Just kind of drizzle it over. This is optional if you don't want to have any cheese, but I like to have a little bit of cheesiness. So this is, I don't know, almost a half a cup or so. Just enough to satisfy those that miss cheese. And then I like to put a little Italian parsley on just to kind of give it that fresh flavor. And there you go, there's our pizza. So I'm gonna slice this up and I'm gonna give it a taste. There's my pizza. Looks really good, I can't wait to taste it. Now if you noticed, a lot of the same ingredients went through every meal. So we made 3 completely different meals using a lot of the same ingredients. The peppers, the red onion, the mushrooms. So this is how you keep it simple. You just run the same ingredients, put them in different combinations, and you can make different meals. Really easy. So let's give this pizza a taste. That is really tasty. Gluten-free, no oil, it's full of veggies, and I've got some leftover summer salad, so I'm gonna have a couple slices of pizza and the rest of that salad for dinner. It's gonna be perfect. I hope you enjoyed this episode 2 of Back to Basics. There's more to come. I will probably do at least 2 more. And if you want to join our Facebook group so you can get in on the Back to Basics and get the support and inspiration that you need to reset and get back on track, feel free to join, and the link will be in the description box. And remember, all my recipes are good for you, they're good for the animals, and they're good for the planet, and what you put on your plate determines your fate and your weight. Never fails. And I forgot something, so hold the phone. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Then I have, oh my gosh, I can't even talk today. I started a Facebook group, and I'll leave a link to that. And I will leave a link to the Facebook group in the, no.